about to hear is the next generation of conservative commentary. This is Factor Talk Radio.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Factor Talk Radio. I'm Caiden Cowger, filling in for Jason Vealy. I have some new results, ladies and gentlemen. 60% of the youth this time voted for President Obama. 60% of the youth. Now, conservatives are saying, oh, this is fantastic, this is super. Let's see, 64% of the youth, I believe if I'm correct, voted for President Obama back in 2008, and now 60% have voted for President Obama. This time came down 4%. Now that's nice, that's good. Not great. It's nothing that I would really be extremely excited about. I mean, 64%, 63%. I mean, we've came down a lot, but it's still nothing to get excited about. 60 in when our generation is the leading generation of this country, 60% is not going to win us the election. When the other side has 60%, 40% is not going to win us the election. It's going to be a lot worse. I mean, what did we see in this election? Very, very close race. Country completely divided in half. But in the next couple of years, when the young generation, the youth, becomes a leading generation of this country, and if we start to see these types of results, it's not good. That's not good at all. And I'm going to call out all conservatives. You're going to have to get active. You're going to have to take steps to reach the youth. I've said multiple times on my radio show that we need to reach the youth with the youth. I started back in 2010, December 5th, 2010, reaching out to the youth. I began my radio show because I wanted to get the youth on the side of conservatism, spread the truth, teach them conservative principles and conservative values. That's the same reason why Jason started his television show in Weathersfield, Connecticut. It's the same reason why Connor Mullen started his show. That's the reason why the Junior Factor got started. We've been trying. Look at us. We've been trying to reach the youth and get them on our side. But, ladies and gentlemen, we can't do that alone. We're trying to do this all by ourselves. Trying to fight the battle against the experienced members of the left who know what they're doing by ourselves. And it makes it extremely tough. I mean, the left's been planning on winning the youth for look at how many years. They've already conquered our education system. They've already they're in control of education. Conservatives gave up on that. So let's see, they're teaching kids liberal principles from when they start school. Indoctrinating kids. While conservatives have actually been trying to save the country and did not even think about trying to beat the liberals at winning the school system. Oh, that'll never happen. Next thing you know, boom, we see this. Oh, they're never going to take prayer out of school. That's going to stand. The next thing you know, boom, taken out of school. And sometimes it feels like we are the only ones who are trying to even win the youth in this country. And I have to say that, because conservatives have been trying to reach the current leading generations of this country, but they are losing the younger generation of this country. They are using the young generation. They are losing the future generations of this country because they're not intervening. They're not doing anything. The biggest thing that I've ever seen that the conservatives have been doing to win the youth was Herman Cain's College Truth Tour. Herman Cain got criticized by college students in the College Truth Tour. Frankly, that doesn't surprise me at all. But see, that's what happens when you stop preaching to the choir and you actually get active and start doing things. And I want to thank Mr. Herman Cain for doing that, because that was a big help. And that's what conservatives need to start doing. But we have to start reaching out to the youth. I mean, look, Jason, he's a very intelligent, very good person, he's a fantastic activist for the young conservative movement. Trying to reach the youth, trying to get the youth involved. We create a junior factor nation. Jason's idea, we created a junior factor nation to sort of get the youth interested in politics, get them on our side, teach them the truth. And in the next 4 years, we're really going to try to get that out there. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are losing the youth vote. We are losing the youth. And if conservatives do not do something, they're not going to get this country. They're going to lose it. I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? By the time you're trying to reach middle-aged Americans, I mean, there's a chance that you might win some of the ones who are independent, who don't know which side they're going to vote for, the undecided voters. But you're not going to reach as many of them as if you would if you reached out to them when they were young. But what did the conservatives do this year to get the youth to vote for Mitt Romney? What did conservatives do this year to get the youth on our side? I recalling hearing Mitt Romney make a couple statements stating, I remember Obama had that stupid Life of Julia, and Mitt Romney made statements against the president's plan, how it's not going to work, all that, and then he moved on. I mean, he didn't focus on it that much. But you look, college students, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you free stuff. College students love free stuff. No offense, Jason. But the majority of college students, they love free stuff. My generation loves it. I mean, I cannot think of a more perfect gift to give to a teenage girl than a free phone, especially an Obama phone. I cannot think of a more perfect gift. Unlimited minutes, unlimited text. I think it's, 100 minutes. But I think it's around unlimited text. Fantastic. I mean, you don't really need those talk minutes anyway. I mean, we don't know what it's like to actually communicate anymore. Oh, hi, what are you doing today? No, it's a... I don't text that much. But that's what it's like today. And I think that's the most ideal gift that you could give to a teenager. A free phone with unlimited minutes. I mean, that's all that they need. You could put them out on a box on the sidewalk, and as long as they had a free phone, a free Obama phone with unlimited minutes, you would make their day. You would make their day. Especially if it was a 3G or 4G. I think 4G now. 4G, yeah. But conservatives are actually going to have to get serious about reaching the youth. They have to. They have to do it. And here's the thing that I've heard from conservatives. Now I'm going to criticize the conservatives for a little bit. And no, it's not because I'm going liberal or something like that, because I know that the liberal left will try to be playing this out there. Oh, Caiden's criticizing conservatives. Yeah, whatever. I'm criticizing conservatives because I want them to get better, and I want us to be extremely successful in 2016. So I'm going to tell you, within the next 4 years, I'm going to be strict. I'm going to tell you what we need to do, what I believe we need to do. And I'm going to tell you the solutions to solve the problems when it comes to reaching the youth. We need to reach the youth with the youth. I've said this multiple amount of times. It's the most successful thing to do. It's reaching the youth with the youth. Why? It's because the youth can reach and relate to their generation more than middle-aged and older conservatives can. And frankly, I find it a bit, put it this way, I find it a bit hypocritical that there are many conservatives out there who say we need to raise the conservative youth. We need to get them, we need to get them involved, but as soon as they get involved, what happens? They don't raise them up. They just leave them right there. Oh, wonderful, you got involved. Yay, I'm going to go back to my show. They don't do anything to give them notoriety, to give them popularity. And I'm not saying this because I believe that young conservatives should be getting popularity for their own personal gain. I don't believe in that. I think that any conservative who wants popularity for themselves and would rather get popularity all for themselves, and that's their goal, and their goal is not to increase the popularity of conservatism, they do not need to be raised up. But when their goal is to reach the youth, get the youth involved, that's what they need to do. They need to raise them up. Because really, how does that sound? Yeah, I hope that the youth we really need to get the youth involved in this country. I mean, this is fantastic. Because I admit, I've sent letters. I've sent letters back. Some of my friends who are activists have sent letters. And they normally get a response back. Oh, well, we're so glad about what you're doing. Now, move along now. I know a conservative website that was mentioned multiple times on a conservative radio show. I'm not going to say which one it was. But it was mentioned several times on a conservative radio show. And you know what? That website is not even known that much. And this conservative complimented it. Said, oh, yeah, it's a fantastic, very organized, wonderful website. But then what happens? It still stays low-key. They don't try to raise it up or anything like that. I mean, if you are going to really mean what you say, and if you are going to say, we have to get the conservative youth involved, you need to put your hand, basically defend and support what that young activist is doing. I'm going to tell you this. Why are so many kids liberal nowadays? Why? It's because they are influenced to be liberal, are they not? They are influenced by their peers, they're influenced by their teachers, by their educators. So really, what chance do they have of being a conservative when you get down to the main parts of it? Liberal educators, liberal peers, liberal teachers. Liberal comedians that are so funny that it's so enjoyable, so pleasurable to watch them. And then you look on the conservative side, mean conservatives, bad conservatives, hateful, bigoted. And that's what they develop over a period of time. That's what they think that we are. They think that we're hateful. They think that we're bigots. They think that we are the worst living thing on the face of the planet. Why? Because they're taught that. They're taught that from the start. So what do we do to influence the conservative? What do we do to influence the youth? We raise the conservative youth. We raise a conservative youth who are going to reach out to their generation and influence them. And we fight back. That's how we do it. That's what I've been saying for the past, for the past 6 months. And it's time to get involved, take action, and do it. Because what we're doing now is not working, and I think that the facts prove that. When you have 60% of the youth voting against us, that's not a good thing. What is the most important issues to college students nowadays? They believe that we are against freedom. The most important issues are homosexuality, gay marriage. That's one of the biggest issues to them. The legalization of marijuana and free handouts. They want entitlements. They want free handouts. They love getting free handouts. So, what happens when we say, no, you're against freedom, you're a bigot, you're hateful, I hate you. I don't hate you. You do too, because I hate you. That's how they act. We are living scum in their eyes. Why? Because they grew up being taught that. So we're the ones who are against freedom. We're the ones who believe in controlling the American people. But see, the thing is, as soon as we say no, what do? You can't say that. I have a right. I have my rights. So what do? They automatically go to the government. They say that we can't have this. This comes against our freedom. Oh, well, we can't have that now, can we? Legalize. Freedom for everyone. Meanwhile, the society of this country goes downhill. That's what they want. Complete freedom. See, we have a thing. It's we go by traditional American values. Traditional American values. We follow the founding principles. When you put all this together, it's a thing called morals. Oh, well, morals is a different thing. See, you can be moral and support gay marriage. You can be moral and support the legalization of marijuana. You can be moral and support polygamy. No, you can't. You know why? Because that's immoral. Well, I have morals, and I don't think that that's immoral. No, that's immoral. There is not different types of morality. It's just that you do not have any morals at all. That's the truth. But we're always the bad guys. And right now I'm hearing, we have to compromise, we have to do this, we have to do that, blah, 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 blah. But what happens if we do compromise and give the Democrats everything that they want, and then all of a sudden they fail? What's going to happen? Well, you didn't stop us. You undermined us, and you used your little Republican trick. They tricked us. Let's take back the country 2016. All Democrats unite together. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you, that is what is going to happen. Because we are always the bad guys in the eyes of the liberal left. And what are they known for? Guys, you've got to think about this. Think about what they are known for. They are known for deceiving the American people. So, Are you thinking that they are not going to deceive the American people in 2016 when all of their bills end up collapsing and the American economy and everything that has provided prosperity in America goes down the drain? You think that they are not going to find a way to blame this on conservatives? You think that they're not going to find a way to blame this on Republicans? You better believe that they will. Why? Because they have a history of deceiving the American people. And the sad thing is, they deceive the American people better than we tell the truth. That's bad. We cannot tell the truth. When we tell the truth, they still don't believe us. That's how good of liars the left is. They are fantastic liars. You know why? It's because they do it 24/7. That's all that they do. They lie. We're getting better. Meanwhile, job creation has been between 59 and 58%. This is according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The so-called recovery has just been going forward. Just been going forward. Maybe that's why President Obama chose his campaign slogan to be forward. Let's keep going in the direction that we're in. Let's see, forward, that would be that way. And for those of you who did not watch the video, I'm pointing down. But guys, we've got to think about what the left is known for, what the left has done to get to this position. We, believe it or not, we used to have the majority of the country. As a matter of fact, it really wasn't that long ago. But we almost had the entire country back when Reagan was president. And when Reagan ran for second term, I believe, if I recall correctly, only one state went blue. Only one state went blue. That's fantastic. That was fantastic. Only one state went Democrat. But look at how much progress the liberals have made since then. They've gained control of our educational system. They have gained control over the minds of the youth. They've gained control over the media. The only thing that they have not gained control of yet is talk radio. But give them time. But look at everything that the liberal left has done to get to this point. And see, the sad thing is that conservatives have been putting off and putting off and putting off. Every single time since Ronald Reagan, we've had a more liberal Republican candidate. I mean, look, George H.W. Bush won his first term. He won the election. Why? Because Republicans were known for being conservatives. We keep going down. Oh well, we're going to vote for Bill Clinton. We put that on the list. We move on. Oh, we're going to vote for George W. But it was a real close election, 2000. Really close election, and we managed to gain the country again. But notice we did not have an almost all red country like we did when Ronald Reagan ran. Why? It's because we have not had a real conservative candidate. And I guarantee that if Ronald Reagan was still alive today, was still in good condition, and if he ran against Obama, he would have smacked the tar out of him. We need another Ronald Reagan on the conservative side. Mitt Romney was not it. Newt Gingrich was not it. Truthfully, I did not see another Ronald Reagan. I was very, very disappointed with the presidential picks. very disappointed with the presidential picks. Now, I would have liked to have seen Herman Cain. I wish he would have made it, because I do like him. I liked him from the start. I don't have favorable opinions of him wanting to get a third party. We're going to talk about that later on. Sort of bit. I'm in the middle. I'm studying a little bit more on his 999 plan. But I would have liked to have seen Herman Cain made it. I think that he could have beat Obama. But guys, what we're doing now is not working. And you want me to tell you the mistake that the right made this year? Look at 2010. Look at how successful we were in 2010, man. We had the Tea Party active. Rally here, rally there, rally around the United States. Where were all those rallies this year? Where were all those rallies last year? They didn't exist. Now, I hear conservative commentators saying, oh, well, the Tea Party is more active than it has ever been before. I mean, just look at it. It's turned into a political organization. Political organization. Isn't that where people sit around in a room and discuss what to do in private? Not a public thing? That's what they do. So let's see. We have a committee of 25 people compared to if we had a rally that would have got dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands. 20 people compared to thousands. Some areas it's probably bigger. It's probably around 50, 60 people who are members of the Tea Party. You attract more people with a rally than you do with a meeting. I don't care what you say. When you are showing yourselves publicly, when you're presenting the issues publicly, such as having a rally, you are going to be more successful. You know why? It's because it's in the public. I am an active Tea Partier. I am not affiliated with a Tea Party organization. I'm not a member of the Tea Party organization. None of my family members are members of the Tea Party organization, although we do help out with it every now and then. But every single rally that is local in this area, a couple of them I've put up, every single rally that is put up in this area, every single rally that is put up in other areas, I attend. But I rarely ever attend any of the meetings. I've been going to attend a couple of the meetings here, but I haven't got the chance. I haven't had the time, really, which I'm going to try to do next year. But we need to once again get active just like we were in 2010. What has the liberal left been saying? The Tea Party died. They're in the toilet. And then conservatives respond, oh, no, they're not dead. They're not dead. Just as well. I mean, I hate to be Mr. Negative here, but when you look at how effective we were in 2010, and then all of a sudden something changes and we decide to become a political organization, do not have as many rallies as we used to, we start to just support candidates, and that's all that we do, basically become another organization like the GOP, you're not going to be as effective. You're not going to be as effective. We had multiple rallies around the country back in 2010. We rarely had any rallies here in 2012. And I'm going to tell you this, we need to get the Tea Party started back up, and we need to get the rallies started back up again. And Fox News, you need to cover these rallies. You need to give them notoriety. You need to give them publicity just like you did in 2010. We need to take the same steps that we were taking in 2010. I felt better I felt better in 2010 than I did in 2012. You know why? It's because we were more active. We actually took a stance, said we're not taking this anymore. We are going to reach out. We're going to do everything that we can to get Americans on our side, show what the liberal left is doing, and we're going to win this election. Now, what do we do this year? We just went to rallies, political rallies that they were having, da-da-da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. And we showed our support for the candidates. Who's going to go to Mitt Romney rallies? More than likely, Mitt Romney's supporters. Who's going to go to Obama rallies? More than likely, Obama's supporters. Why? It's because they want to hear who they like speak. Now, other than hecklers. But, so basically, when candidates speak at a campaign rally, they are basically preaching to the choir. But the Tea Party was more than that. The Tea Party was a lot more than that. It was more than, we weren't preaching to the choir. We were getting people to notice us, notice our cause. But now that the Tea Party has sort of died down, they're not recognized as much as they used to be. And I've seen a major decrease in the Tea Party, in the Tea Party being active. I've seen a major decrease in that, and we need to get that started back up. We need to get it out there again. And conservatives are going to be saying, oh, he's criticizing the Tea Party now, oh my gosh. No, I'm not criticizing what the Tea Party stands for. I'm criticizing the Tea Party's activism. Because they are not being active enough anymore. When I saw 2010, I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be fantastic if we're like this every single election year, if we're like this every single time one of our candidates come up, every single time the government starts to take over America. We're going to get this country back on track. Next thing you know, the Tea Party dies down, Obama wins another term. See, that's what happens when you sit back and don't do anything. Because that's what's happened. There were people coming on Glenn Beck's rally, Restoring Honor. There were people who came from all over the country, all across the country, who came to that rally. There was people who came from Utah, from West Virginia, from California, you name it. There were people everywhere, coming from every direction. And that next election year, we took the country back. We put in conservative Republican congressmen in the House. And we stopped the Democrats from completely destroying our country. And look at the progress that we made there. And no, that is not progressivism to people who are not able to tell the difference. But look at what we did in 2010. We were active, we were protesting. We were saying, look at what you're doing to our country. Look at what they're doing to our country. We're getting them out this next election year. Now what have we seen? People have went back to sitting down, listening to talk radio. Oh, yeah, I agree with Rush. Yeah, I agree with Ann Coulter. I agree with Lori. I agree with Sean Hannity. Gee, I wonder what happened to all the Tea Party stuff that I had a couple years ago. Millie, is that up in the attic? That's what's happened. Now, of course, I listen to talk radio. I don't listen to talk radio that much because I don't have the time when I have school. But of course, it's great to listen to talk radio. I want you to pursue listening to talk radio. But you need to stop. But you need to remember this. When you listen to talk radio, you also need to be an activist. You need to be a conservative activist as well. Use talk radio. Use talk radio to get your information. Do your own research. Do your own investigations. Because that's what it's going to take to get this country. We're going to have to get serious just like we were in 2010. Because we were serious about this in 2010. You look at the big rallies that we had in 2000. Look at them. Phew. Now look at them. We had, if I remember correctly, we had about 3-4 rallies here in West Virginia. We had one in Charleston. We had one in Morgantown. We had one here. And we had one in, it was in Clarksburg. And then we had one in Buchanan. 4 rallies. Compared to look at how many in 2010. We were having rallies. we were having Tea Party rallies in just about every single community. We were grassroots. Now we're organizing ourselves. Break away from that. Don't become a political organization. Remain as a grassroots movement created by the people. When we started the Tea Party, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter what your registered politics were. We all came together. We saw what the government was doing to our country. And we began to slowly take it back. And then we made progress in 2010 and took back the House. Now we die down. We go back to sitting on our sofas, listening to conservative talk radio without being active. And then look at what happens. Look at what happens. We lose the 2012 election. The most important election in the history of the United States. But what do you expect when you die down for all these years? What do you expect when you do not do anything to reach the youth? What do you expect? You should be ready to lose the country. We don't have children's television channels. We do not have the educational system. We do not have very many peers directing us to conservatism. There are not very many people who are interested in politics at my age. And I have to say that now the majority of my school now is interested in politics because I have made them interested in politics. I've told them about the issues, and slowly they start to see, oh, well, he does this all the time, so maybe what he's saying is actually something worth listening to. Hey, I sort of like this. We don't have that influence in every single school. So who are normally the number one peoples who influence students? In college you have influence. But who are normally the number one peoples? The people who influence students. Teachers. The majority of teachers are liberal. So guess what? Those students are going to be taught to be liberal. They're going to be taught that global warming is a fact. And then they go on their merry way, and they become liberals when they get older. That's what you see. So, do we want this? Do we want the country to become completely liberal, if not now, in the future? If so, remain what we're doing now, which is nothing. If you actually want to take the country back, reach out to the youth, reach out to Americans, and get them informed on the issues. Now, I'm going to tell you this too. My plan, reaching the youth, with the youth, I believe would be very successful because it has been successful in the area where I'm at, and to me it's been successful in other areas as well where young conservatives have gotten involved. So what's the job of the conservative media? What's the job of the experienced conservatives? They need to raise the conservative youth up. But here's the thing. They are also going to have to reach out to the youth as well. They are going to have to. Because really, what does it look like? What does it look like? Who is giving the youth more attention? Let's be honest. The liberal left. I care about you college students. I really do. I want you to have jobs. I want every single one of you to have jobs. Unless you want entitlements, then I can give you free stuff. Well, but I want every single college student to have free. Now I realize that over 50% of college students are unemployed, but that's the Republicans' fault. I mean, that's what we see. And then what do Republicans do? Now, that's not true. That's not my plan. He's lying. But now I'm going to move on to a more important issue. I mean, that's what I've seen. So, truthfully, that's what I've seen. I'm not making this stuff up. They don't spend time on the youth. So who looks like they care more about the youth? The liberals, the Democrats. They are lying to them. They are boldly lying to them. They know that they're lying. But they are willing to lie as long as they get the youth vote. It's not truth versus lies in the mind of the youth. It's who is going to reach out to me more. Who actually looks like they care about me more. Who is willing to spend more time on me. And in this case, for a long time, it's been the liberals and the Democrats. For a long time, it's been that way. And it's time for conservatives to start getting involved. They need to start reaching out to the youth, and they need to work to get the youth on our side. They need to reach the youth out themselves. They need to reach the youth using the conservative youth. They need to raise the conservative youth up. And the conservative youth can reach out to their generation. They can relate to their generation more, and they will be successful. When you have the conservative youth involved, when you have the conservative youth out there taking a stand, reaching their generation, you have the experienced conservatives reaching to their generation, to the middle-aged Americans, to the current leading generation, you have an army. When you combine them, you have an army. But if you choose for them to remain separate, they're not going to be as strong. What's stronger? Breaking something, a single object, or putting two objects together and then trying to break them? Which one seems stronger? Putting both objects together. That's what we're going to have to do. You have a choice, America. You have a choice, conservatives. Either do what we're doing now, which is not working, or try something new. Try a different method. And try to win the youth in this country. Now, they are saying that if you want to reach the youth, what are the liberals saying? If you want to reach the youth, you're going to have to get rid of social conservatism, and you're going to have to accept social liberalism. That's not true. Because the majority of students where I live are already social conservatives, and they don't even realize it. Social conservatism is alive. But see, the thing is, we have to make sure that it stays alive. That's what we're going to have to do. And I'm going to tell you this. And this is what and I'm going to tell you this. Let's see. Young conservatives. Because I used to listen to Glenn Beck all the time when I was younger. I still listen to his radio show. But I used to listen to Glenn Beck all the time. I got my information from him. That's how I first started to get really interested. I was interested in politics when I was 6 years old. But I was not as informed, of course. I was not as informed when I was 6 years old as I was when I got older and started to listen to Glenn Beck. I started to become informed on the issues. He had a way of being fun. Like, he was entertaining. And a way of capturing his audience, and he still does. And I just loved it. I loved it. Just like the expressions that he made, how he acted fun, but still told you information and taught you the truth. And that's what reached out to me and got me involved. Truly got me activated. And truthfully, it's one of the main reasons why I started doing radio. My main reason for doing radio was to get the youth involved and to reach out to the youth. But I would have never have done that if it was not for Glenn Beck. I've said this multiple amount of times, and I'm going to say it again. Glenn Beck used to call out, we need to get the youth involved. We need to get them active. We have to reach out to the youth and get them on the side of the right. I took that as a calling. And I decided to start my radio show. And I've been doing it ever since December 5th of 2010. That got me active. I became an activist for the conservative movement, for the young conservative movement. And we need more of those. But I am going to tell you this. Every single young conservative who decides to get involved, the conservatives need to do whatever they can to raise them up and give them notoriety so they can do more when they reach out to the youth. See, why I'm saying that young conservatives need notoriety, the ones who are truly passionate about conservatism and who are true conservatives, is not because, I think that they deserve notoriety because they are conservatives. No, I don't know. Because, let's face it, you can do more when you get on, I'll put it this way. You can do more when you're on Fox News than you can when you're on a local television station. Am I right or am I right? You can do more when you're on a national media outlet than you can on a local television outlet. So when you give the youth public notoriety, what's it going to do? It's going to build them up. It's going to make them stronger. It's going to make them more powerful. Something that the left is afraid of happening. And I'm going to tell you this. As soon as you do that, as soon as a young conservative decides to stand up, what is the liberal left going to do? Even the bigger liberals, what are they going to do? You know, this kid is stupid. He is ignorant. You know, such as what Bill Maher did to me. You know, I was an a-hole when I was 14 too. Yeah. See that light up there? That means that you're supposed to laugh. I mean, really. That's what the liberal left is going to do. They're going to try to destroy them emotionally. They're going to try to destroy their self-esteem. They're going to try to bring them down, and they're going to try to make them feel like they are no better than dirt. And that's where conservatives, experienced conservatives, especially conservatives in the media outlets, are going to have to stand up, say, you are not going to do that to the young conservatives. We're defending them. We are going to stand with them. And you back off. What's going to happen? It's going to have a big effect. That young conservative is going to become even more powerful than he ever has before. Why? Because he has support. Because he has public notoriety. He can reach more people. He can reach his generation more. Or her generation more. And they can get more young Americans interested in politics and involved. And the liberal left is scared senseless. That's what we're going to have to do. That's what we're going to have to do. The liberal left should be scared. They should be completely terrified. Completely terrified. And I'm going to tell you this too. Jonathan Cron. I want to just talk a little bit about this. Jonathan Cron. Yeah, he was smart. I used to think that he was still smart when he became a liberal because, well, I didn't think that you would become dumber when you get older. I was wrong. Especially when I've read some of his articles. Ugh. But why did Jonathan Cron, really, what was his objective? What was his real objective? I listened, I remember it was 2 years ago. I used to really like him. I read some segments from his books, and I really liked him. But as soon as I was on Bill Maher, he attacked me, he attacked Jonathan Cron, and then all of a sudden Jonathan Cron comes out saying that he's now liberal. I looked up some of the videos in the past that was taken of Jonathan Cron. What was he exactly? Jonathan Cron was in it for personal gain. He was in it to promote himself. He was in it to give himself a name. He wanted public notoriety, not to benefit conservatism, but to benefit himself. And conservatives are going to have to be aware of that because there's going to be more people just like Jonathan Cron. And frankly, looking back, I would have never raised that kid up. I would have never given him public notoriety. Because I looked at him. I really got down and looked at him. Why did he get active? Why did he get involved? Wasn't to help the conservative movement. It was to help himself. Conservatives are going to have to be aware of that. Because frankly, and I hate to say this, they were gullible. They were gullible. And they need to be careful not to raise someone just like Jonathan Cron up again. You know why? Because they're going to come back and bite him in the butt. You want my honest opinion. I mean, you look at the true conservatives that we have now. We have Connor Mullen, brilliant young conservative. We have Jason Villey, very smart young conservative. And we have multiple others who need to be in the public eye because they're smart and they can actually make a difference. But you raise up people who are only in it for themselves, And then all of a sudden they get older, and then you hear on the news, hey, da-da-da-da-da, so that they're now liberal. I never thought that he would do something like that. Oh my goodness. And then what happens when this happens? They're too old to be raised. All the ones who conservatives had a chance to raise up are now older and cannot be as effective as they could have been when they were younger. Their generation is starting to decide which side they're on. No reaching out. Conservatives lost their chance. And once again, we failed at a wonderful chance to reach the youth. Down. So conservatives, you're going to have a choice. You need to look, and I'm going to be talking about this later. I'm going to talk to Jason too. You need to look at what to look for in a young conservative. And I'm going to give you, we've got to go here in a couple more minutes, and I'm going to give you some examples of what to look for. You need to look at, are they in this to promote themselves, or are they active to promote conservatism? Which one is it? If they're in it to promote themselves, do not give them notoriety. Because they're going to come back and they're going to bite the hand that fed them. When you see conservatives who are actually wanting to make a difference and reach their generation, those are the ones that need to be raised up. But sadly, those are the very ones that conservatives have failed to do so. They need to use wisdom when reaching the youth. And truthfully, every single place, just about every single place that I've went, there's always been a conservative who's asked me, how do we reach the youth? How do we do it? I mean, really, how do we've tried everything. We've tried in our area, and we can't do it. How do we do it? I've given them the same answer that I'm giving you right now. And you know what? It's worked. It's worked. We're going to have to get serious about this. We're going to have to step up to the plate and take a stand for conservatism and reach out to the youth in America. Because if we don't do it now, it's going to be even harder to reach the same very ones in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening to us tonight. I'm Caiden Cowger, filling in for Jason Vealey. You can go to the website at juniorfactornation.com. Thank you. This is Caiden Cowger signing off. God bless. God save this wonderful nation.
What you're about to hear is the next generation of conservative